Guys, welcome. In this video, I will be talking about every command line command you should know to get comfortable with the Unix command line. Many of these will work with the Linux environment as well. Before all of that, this is my editor which I'll be using for the video. You can use terminal or anything like that. I just have this item as a software. So let's go to desktop first. So when you do cd, you're asking it to change the directory, and this is the root directory, and there is a desktop directory inside the root directory. So if you hit that, it will go to desktop. So the first command that will be useful for you will be cd, change directory, right? Followed by that, let's clear everything. For that, you can just hit either clear or you can hit Control L. That is also going to clear it. So it's Control L. So let's say you type something. I typed something. Let's say you want to go to the first character. So you could either go it like that, but let's say it's a big line. So how do you go to the first character? You can just go to the first character by hitting Control A. How to get to the last character? By hitting Control E. Okay, so how can you clear everything? So let's say I am right here. If I want to clear everything before the cursor, I can go Control U. If I want to delete everything after the cursor, I can go Control K. How do I remember this? There's this country called UK. U is to go before the cursor, K is to go after the cursor. So I remember it like that. And what if this is a word? So what if I want to delete a word by word? So you can just do Control W and it will keep on deleting the word, every word. So, and then let's say there's this autocomplete thing. See, I typed who and then I pressed tab. So it gave me, like, it completed my request after it was sure I was trying to put in who am I here. So moving on, so that was just navigation throughout the command line commands. So let's clear this using Control U and then let's do some files. So I want to create a file in desktop. So this is me creating a file, like that's testfile.txt. So I created this testfile.txt in the desktop. Now let's open testfile.txt. If you just use the open command, it's like you double clicking the file. So once you do that, you have that file here. So this is a file I created. So let's close it. So that's how you create a file and how you double click your file. So that way you're never going to need a mouse to double click anything. Moving on. So let's say I'm in desktop right now, but let's say I forgot where I was. So there is this print working directory, pwd command. If I hit enter, it's going to tell me where I am. So I'm inside users, inside MacBook, and in the desktop directory. So let's say I want to go one directory before the directory I am in. So I could change directory one directory ahead. So now if I do print working directory, I'm not in desktop anymore, but I'm in the main folder. So there is this list of files called ls. So if I do ls and hit enter, these are all the files that are in my main directory. Let's say I want a long list, I can do that. So it's going to give me all this stuff, who's the owner of the file, what are the read modes and what are the write modes and everything. Instead, like if I want hidden files, I can just go on ls-a, and these files which are after the period sign are all hidden files. I can combine them and have, like, let's say I want L long versions of all files. That includes hidden file as well. So that will include hidden files in the long format. What if I want the files in a human readable file? So there is just long and human readable. Let's just do that. So this is the human readable format, which was the default one, right? What if I wanted, let's go to desktop, change directory to desktop, and from there on let's do ls -r. So what it did, let me try it again. So what it did is it printed like this is the folder that's in my desktop, and inside of there there's another file, and inside of there's another file, and so on. So this command ls -R recursively went through each and every folder and printed it on my screen. So with that being done, let's clear our screen. So let's say I want to know the last 10 commands. So these are the last 10 commands. So let's say I want to put these last 10 commands in a file in my folder. So let's do history 10, and I want to put in the folder called history.txt in the folder. So I'll just put in the command, and there's just colon, that is to write. If you use double colon, that means append. You can add a colon here, and you can add the content to this file, but I don't want to append anything right now, so I just want to write it to history.txt. Notice that you didn't print out anything like it did here, but it wrote its result. If I want to have a look at that file, I could just go cat and history.txt. So see, history.txt had all these things. Let's say I want to echo test. That echo something is give me the thing back. So let's do echo test, and let's append it this time. Notice I have two of these, two of less than signs, and then history. It's command W. Command W deletes a word, remember. History.txt. So I just appended it. Let's clear this and open history.txt. Notice it appended test to the file that was already there. If I want to delete the history.txt file, I can just do remove is rm history.txt. So that way, if I search for every txt file in the desktop, history.txt is not there. Let's see what is in this test file.txt. Okay, that was the file I created. Let's copy this file then. cp test file.txt. I want to, you can take it any place. Again, like let's put it into Dropbox, and let's put it here. To say here, I can just hit a period. One period is here, two period is a directory head. So if I open Dropbox and test file.txt, this is from that directory. See, it was copied there. Now let's say I want to move that file from test file.txt back to desktop, but as a duplicate file.txt. Now let's search for every txt file. This is me typing asterisk. Asterisk means every. So I want to list every txt file in the current directory, which is desktop itself. So if I do that, notice that I have this duplicate file.txt in here. So that's how you move files, how you copy files, how you write to a file, how you append to a file, and so on. And there's just like one little command. So you can hit Control R, and then you can look for the command you like. If you just go on typing history, it searches for the commands where you put history in, and then you have that command right here. So you can just do rmhistory.txt without even typing everything. It says, there is no directory called history.txt anymore. So it complained. It's fine complaining that. Let's say I want to run the last ls command I did, a last command that started with history. So I can do star history, and it will tell me the last command I did was that. That is pretty neat. If I want to execute the last command, I can just hit two exclamation marks, and it will just redo the last command, which is this. This was the last command, so it just redid it again. So there are like many other things you can do with the command line. You can just, for example, say I am cool.
I am cool.
So it says whatever you ask it to say. You can do a lot of things. Let's say, what is date? This is the date today. What is the calendar? This is the calendar for this month. You can find things with the find command. You can like create alias. Let's say cool is equals to cd. Okay, now let's not do that. Open desktop. So I just created an alias. Now if I type cool, it will open the file. Like whenever I type cool, it will execute this thing that is stored in the cool variable. There are a bunch of things. I can't think of anything right now. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys. Oh, before I leave, I just want to leave two more things. So how do you learn these commands? So there is this like before that, who am I? If you just type who am I, it will tell you which user you are. But there is this one way to learn, like what is. So let's say I want to learn what is meant by a command called continue, and there is also one of the commands. So if I type what is continue, it will go and find all the commands that involve this keyword continue. If I want a detail, like let's say I want to find the detail on something, some command, so I can just type man alias. So it will give me all the information about the command alias that I might need. So alias, you can select, you can hit J to come down here, you can hit K to go up here, and if you press Q, it will exit. So these are some of the commands that I frequently use on regular basis. I know there are plenty more, but if you know this much and if you practice these commands, I think you can easily navigate through any Unix or Linux machine. Please let me know if this helped you. Have